Morning, Coach. How's Ross feeling today?
Not great.
See an option for tonight?
We'll see. See what the day brings.
I know we asked you this yesterday, but if Colton can't go, are you leaning toward
We'll see.
Landeskog?
I haven't decided yet.
Talked about Brock Nelson yesterday, but his two wingers, neither of them picked up a shot at even strength the other night. What do you want to see from that line, I guess, tonight that maybe they didn't do the other night?
Well, I thought they had a nice night on the defensive side of things, but there's some things offensively that our whole team can do a little bit better. They're going to make it tough on you. They're going to take away your time and space. So being connected as a group of three, I think, is really important. And then, it begins with winning races and winning battles and being in good support of one another and then trying to spread them out. So I think there's some things that line can do better, but, it's our whole team included.
I just want to clarify and decode. I'm not around here all year. Is Landeskog an option for tonight? A
Yes.
possibility?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach, you know that they're going to up their sense of urgency. I know you always talk about playoffs. Everyone's got to be desperate and urgent, but is this maybe where a moment where, like what you guys have dealt with over the last few weeks, playing against a lot of desperate teams in the lead up can help, or do you guys got to?
Well, that's what the regular season does, right? It prepares you for playoffs. And when you're playing teams that are in a fight to get in the playoffs, playing against desperate teams that are fighting for home ice, etc., I think that is exactly what it is. It's preparation for playoffs, game 1, game 2. It's only going to get harder every game you play, right? So, no one's sitting in our room going, yeah, great job, and the job's finished. Like, we know it's a long road, and we're trying to focus on the things that we can do better tonight that we didn't do enough of in game 1.
Right.
Jared, I'm not gonna ask you about the lineup, but as when it comes to knowing the other team's lineup one way or the other, does it impact your game day prep as a coach? If you go and say, if the Stars say, hey, we're gonna play this guy versus we're not gonna say till game time, like, does it impact your prep at all? Knowing
I think, a little bit. Just depends on the player and their role and what they do. I don't give out my lineup because there's nothing in it for me.
Last year when you guys won game 1 in Dallas, that game went a whole heck of a lot different than the one on Saturday did. Is it truly, once the game's over, you leave that in the past, or is there any extra, confidence or motivation knowing that you played quite better this game 1 than last year?
Yeah, we're not comparing it to last year, to be honest with you. Like, we evaluated last year and talked about last year when it was finished. That being said, they have the same coach and a lot of the same players, so I'm not saying there's not similarities, but we're a different team, they're a different team, we're in different, like, our mindset is we look at game 1, we evaluate it, we take the things that we like, we show our guys and reiterate that information to them, and then we look at the things where we can improve upon and things we can do better and look at it structurally, tactically, from a competitive standpoint, what were we doing, what weren't we doing, and we look at all the areas we can improve and give our guys that information too, and then we reset and get ready to go for tonight.
Coach, you had that early 5-on-3 last game. I've heard some coaches and players say sometimes an early power play can be sort of a blessing and a curse because you're not quite into the game yet. Yeah. Do you have a philosophy on that?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think it's tough when you get that opportunity right away. Emotions are still high. You're still trying to settle into the game a little bit. I think what it did for us last game is, even though we didn't capitalize on it, Dallas is a hard starting team at home where they can put it on you right away, and it gave us a little reprieve from our own end, and we were able to build a shot lead and get a little comfortable and get some puck touches. So even though we didn't capitalize on it, at least we weren't playing in our end under duress for the first 5-7 minutes or whatever, which can happen in this building. So instead of trying to survive it, we were on the offensive side of it trying to capitalize.
Corey and Frank.
That was Parker Kelly's Stanley Cup playoff debut too.
Yeah.
Also made a big deal out of Blackwoods, but you added a bunch of players in the summer. You tried a bunch of different players from the minors. you've asked him to do a lot of different things. What about him made him sort of fit and stick the way it is?
Well, his mindset, like he's a great pro. I think starts with that. Whatever we asked him to do, he was willing to try and do it. We moved him from wing to center, and he built his role on the team significantly doing that. We needed centers at the time. Turns out to be a really trusted defensive player for us, right? Like he can play against anybody because he's fast, he's physical, he's got great detail to his game. And then, with the addition of some of the centers we got, we move him back to the wing, and I felt like playing center really helped him grow as a winger. He can chip in offensively, he's got a great shot. So I just think like his mentality and mindset is very similar to that of Drury and O'Connor, and you're looking for that chemistry, and I think we found it. It reminds me a lot of the Helm, Cogliano, O'Connor line that we had in 2022, and that was a highly effective line for us through the playoffs because they can play against anybody and give like a little reprieve to some of the top guys.
Right. With so much roster turnover, what do you think was the biggest key to making everyone feel as comfortable as they could as quickly as possible?
I think it's leadership in our room. That's what it is. Like I don't think it's one particular thing. I think it's the communication that goes on between the guys and the staff, and getting everyone on the same page, and then talking more instead of like starts with the tactics and the structure of the way we play, and then it moves on to like the mindset of our team and having them understand where we've been in the last 4 or 5 years and where we're trying to go. And so like everyone's on the same page philosophically about what we're trying to do. And like I just think we got a great group of guys in there, and they make our new players feel comfortable, and they're demanding, but they're very supportive at the same time.
Last two going back. Jared, there's not a lot of secrets in this league. I think you might have even said that ahead of game one.
Yeah.
Is there anything you did learn from Dallas in game one?
Nothing that I wasn't expecting, to be honest.
You mentioned that Andrew Cogliano worked with Parker Kelly in season, and I was curious if you could tell me more about Cogliano's role with the players, especially this time of year.
Yeah, well, it's similar to what he's done all year long. Like we haven't changed a lot of things like in our preparation, except we're digging a little bit deeper in a lot of areas. And like he's got a tremendous amount of respect around the room because of the way he handled himself and the way he played, a lot like Landy does. And now he's in a management role, but he still is able to like share his experiences, talk to guys. It's another guy that gets a view of the game from the press box. He understands the development side of hockey. He changed his role a lot over the course of his career to be an effective player and a guy that was contributing on a nightly basis, from scoring goals earlier in his career to being a rock solid shutdown guy. So it's just another guy that players feel comfortable going to and discussing their role, their game, how things are going for him. And, like you can't have too many guys like that around. Anyone that, like, if they feel more comfortable coming to me and talking, that's great. If it's Pratt or if it's Ray, if it's C-Mac, Joe, and Cogs, they all will have, similar or varying opinions of what's going on, and you gather knowledge to make sure your game's in order. So I think he's a great resource for our team.